Hello and welcome to the Consistory of the Coelc YouTube channel. I'm your host for this video, Reverend Zabel of the St. John's Evangelical Lutheran Church located in Dalby, Queensland, Australia. Today I'm continuing my mini-series on Angelology, and today we're going to begin by discussing the 5 Pauline angels. So in my previous video I mentioned this topic of the Pauline angels, the 5 choirs mentioned in Paul's letters that we know very little about, and that we only have what kind of church tradition says on them. Over these next 5 videos, I'm going to be discussing those 5 types of angels mentioned in the epistles of Paul and the one of the epistles of St. Peter. And so, for those who are interested, this is based on my book I wrote, Choirs of Angels, a brief study of the kinds of angels. But this is also going to be based on a second book I also wrote called Choirs of Angels. This is the kids book version. So whereas my first book has like a picture and then a large lot of text discussing the types of angels, this one is largely a bunch of colourful pictures accompanied by dot points explaining the different choirs of angels. This was to encourage young kids to get involved in the topic of angelology and to learn about angels. Basically, I wanted to try and teach kids less about things like aliens and monsters and fairies and all those kinds of things that are very popular in pop culture, and I'd rather try and get young Christian children interested in the biblical creatures of angels and demons. So this book goes through all the choirs of angels that are mentioned in scripture, including angels, and then also into the choirs of demons. And so over these next 5 videos, I'll be using these 2 books to go through the topic of these Pauline angels. We don't know much about them from scripture, so a lot of this will be based just on the Catholic Church tradition. And for those who would like copies of this book, you can always buy them by heading over to Lulu and just searching my name or searching the names of the book. So we'll begin with our first of these Pauline angels, which is the topic of the thrones. So, as I mentioned in my video on the omphanim, or wheels in Hebrew, in Catholic tradition they do mix the omphanim and the wheels into a single choir. However, in that video on omphanim, I kind of went through my reasonings for why I don't believe the wheels or the omphanim of the Old Testament and the thrones mentioned in Paul's epistles are the same choir, but why I think they are 2 distinct choirs. And so for this video I'm going to work on the grounds that they are distinct choirs. So I'm going to start by reading some lines from my more theologically in-depth book, and then I'm going to just read a few little things from the children's book while I'm at it. So we begin with the choir of thrones. Now, the thrones are here not referring to royal thrones, but to judicial thrones. Hence, the Catholics teach that the thrones are the heavenly judges. In Daniel 7, 9-10, In Daniel 7, 9-10, there are those who are mentioned as being seated on judgment thrones beside the throne of God, and there are the angelic multitudes that serve before the throne. These 2 groups are clearly distinct and could refer to judging angels and serving angels. Many scholars, however, have held that those on the thrones are not angels but saints of God. For in the New Testament, the saints sit on the thrones before God to judge even the angels. See Matthew 19:28, Luke 22:30, 1 Corinthians 6:2-3, and Revelations 2:26 and 4:4. On the other hand, 1 Timothy 5:21 does speak of elect angels who judge the church. Johann Gerhard, in his commentary on 1 and 2 Timothy, taught that some people think that the term angel here just refers to pastors, as in the term angel meaning messengers, but others do think that this term refers to heavenly spirits who judge humans. As for the term elect, it too has numerous different interpretations. Gerhard said that Calvin understood elect to mean all the non-fallen angels, and taught that there was a double predestination of the angels. Gerhard rejected this teaching of election of the angels, stating that the word elect here means choice or favoured. Gerhard states that St. Ambrose Catharinus taught that the elect angels referred to the 7 archangels, but Gerhard personally took the position that the terms refer to all the non-fallen angels. Tradition has held that the term elect refers to a special rank or choir of judicial angels, the thrones. I believe that it is clear from 1 Timothy 5:21 that there will be angels that serve as judges in heaven, just as the saints of heaven will also serve as judges. And even though St. Paul tells the Corinthians that the saints were to sit on thrones in judgment, Jesus tells the 12 apostles that it is they who will be seated on the judges, and Revelation speaks of 24 elders being seated on the thrones. Just as only an elect group of saints are to sit on the thrones as judges, so too only an elect group of angels will be seated as judges. Just as Daniel 7:9 makes a clear distinction between those who judge from besides the throne of God and those who were to serve before the throne of God. And now if we just turn to my children's book on the choirs of angels, I have a little brief part about the thrones, that their name comes from the Greek word thronos, that they are heavenly judges, and that they are seated on judgment thrones alongside God and his saints. And that's based basically on Daniel 7:9-10, Colossians 1:16, and 1 Timothy 5:21. As I said, these choirs, we don't have a lot from the scriptures about them, and most of what we talk about in these next few videos will come from church tradition. So I've been your host, Reverend Jake Zabel. Goodbye and God bless.